This is the 8.1-8.2 test review, and this is the assignment that we just did in class, and I'm going to go through every single problem explaining how to do it. So if you weren't sure and you guessed but you got it right, you might go ahead and watch that problem anyway to see how it's done, and definitely the ones you got wrong, fast forward to watch those problems being done. I'll explain everything. Okay, so number one, which of the following tables corresponds to the function y equals x squared minus 2x plus 3? Let's zoom in so we can see this a little better. All right, so I'm going to type this equation right in the calculator. Okay, there we go. And we're going to go to the table and compare. So here's my calculator. I'm going to get rid of this old one. I'll just double click and replace that with x squared minus 2x plus 3. X squared minus 2x plus 3. All right. Push enter. Now there's the graph, but I don't care about the graph. I want to go to the table. Control T takes me to the table. So we're going to go ahead and take a look. I'm just going to start with choice A. We have -1 as an x value. So I want to arrow up to -1. My calculator says -1/6. This says -1/2. Therefore it's wrong. Okay, now choice C does say -1/6. Choice B says -1/4. That's wrong. And choice D says -1/4. That's wrong. Now I want to double or triple check by checking all the other x values. I have 1, 2. There it is. And I have 2, 3. There it is. This one matches up completely, so that is the right answer. Okay, number 2. Which of the following tables corresponds to the function y equals x squared plus 3x minus 5? It's just the exact same thing. So what I'm going to do is double click on the one I just did and change that equation. Delete back to the equal sign. And go to x squared plus 3x minus 5. By the way, if you delete too far, you get this menu. Just hit escape and that goes away. X squared plus 3x minus 5. All right, you push enter. Okay, there you go. Now I'm going to go to my table again. Control T. I have -1's the first value in every table. So again, I'm going to go up to -1. I have -1, 7. That's what I have on my calculator screen. I'm sorry, -1, -7. Okay, so this is -1, -6. That's wrong. That one's wrong. -1, -3. That one's wrong. That one's right. -1, -7. Let's check the other values. We should have 1, -1. There it is. We have 2, 5. There it is. So there is that one. Number 3, which of the following represents the graph of, which of the following represents the graph of y equals -t squared plus 4t minus 3? Now I can put this in the calculator, but I can't put it in as t. I need to type in x squared, etc. So I double click on here. I get rid of everything, delete to the equal sign. I'm going to type in negative using the negative button, not the minus or subtract, but the negative button. -2x. Power of 2 is right here. -2x squared plus 4x minus 3. Now notice, when I put in this one, that is the minus sign. Whenever you're between two terms, you always use minus. Whenever you're the term in the very front, or you're on some parentheses or something, you use the negative sign. Okay, I typed that in, push enter. There's the graph. So it's going downwards. It's in the 4th quadrant. My quadrants are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm looking over here, going downwards. This one's in the wrong quadrant. That one's in the wrong quadrant. This one looks just like it. That's probably the answer. And that one is in the wrong quadrant. So just by looking at the graph, and you can even go more detail, I can turn on my grid, menu 223. Oh, I did something wrong. Oh, I know where I'm at. I'm on the wrong screen. Sorry about that. Let's go over to that. Oh, I don't know where I went. Hold on. There I am. No. Anyway, my graph disappeared. But if I did menu 223 in the right screen, I would have gotten this same point, and that would have been 1, -1. So pretty easy when you graph that and get that. I'm going to dock B. I didn't realize I had so much stuff in here. And now I'm going to go back to my graph screen. Okay, let's go to number 4 on the back of that page. Which of the following could be the graph of y equals x squared? Well, we know y equals x squared is a parent function. We've seen it a million times. But even if you forgot, just type in x squared. Okay, type in y equals x to the power 2. Push enter. That's the parent function. It starts at the origin, right at the 0, 0. This one doesn't. That one doesn't. These two both start at the origin, but the parent function goes upwards. This one's going the wrong way, so the answer is C. All right. Number 5. In the diagram, is the vertex a maximum or a minimum point? This isn't even a calculator question. Well, the vertex is the either topmost or bottommost point on your parabola. This is my vertex. Since it's at the bottom, that is known as a minimum vertex. What is the ordered pair? First of all, just by knowing it's a minimum, you get rid of that choice. Now, we got to go back to ordered pairs. Okay, remember, the first number in an ordered pair is my x value. It can only go either left if it's a negative number or right if it's a positive number. This one's going to the right. Therefore, I'm looking for a positive x. That's not a positive x. That's wrong. How many am I going to the right? I can count my grid boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the right. These are both 5 to the right. Now the y value is the second in the order pair, and it can only go up if it's positive, down if it's negative. Okay? Now this one's going down. It's going down 3. So that's a negative number, and it's negative 3. So it's D. So that's how you do ordered pairs. A lot of people have forgotten ordered pairs. We've noticed that today going through this. Let's do number 6. Is the vertex of a parabola, the parabola shown in the graph, a maximum or a minimum? What are the coordinates? It's the exact same kind of question. That's a maximum. It's on top. I get rid of that one, that one. I get rid of 2 choices by knowing it's a maximum. What are the coordinates? Well, again, I already went over all my stuff. I'll do it again really quickly. X is left if it's negative, right if it's positive. This is going left 2. It's got to be negative 2. And it goes up, y goes up when it's positive. So it's negative 2, comma, positive 4. Oh, my bad. It's B. Negative 2, left 2, up 4, positive 4. All right. Number 7, state the vertex and x-intercepts of the given graph. Vertex is either the very top or very bottom, in this case the very bottom. Now it is a small graph, but we know it's going to be a negative something. It's only going over, it looks like once, right? Only one box. Let's zoom in really far. That's not going over 4. Can't be negative 4. It's too much. It's not even going over 3. It's only going over 1. So we've already gotten rid of 2 choices by looking at how far it's going to the left. Okay, how far is it going down? Looks like 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, right? And so both of these are negative 1, negative 4. So these check out okay. How about the x-intercepts, which are also known as roots, solutions, and zeros. They could have asked you with any of those words, and they're asking for the same thing, these points. Looks like one of them is 1, 0, and one of them is like -3, 0. But notice, and we told you this in class, they don't always list them as order pairs. They're listing it as 1, -3, or in order -3, 1. This is not an order pair. This is both of the x values listed in order. So this one is the answer. -3 and 1 are the two roots, and the vertex is right there. All right, let's go on. Number 8, identify the line of symmetry for the conic, which is the parabola, graph below. The line of symmetry goes straight down the middle. They even give you the number where it hits. That's the only number on the whole graph. Well, except for that one, because they think people might do that, which is totally wrong. The line of symmetry goes through the middle. It's always a vertical line. It's always x equals a number. X, in this case, equals -3. Now, I had some people today say they got confused and couldn't remember if that was an x equals equation or a y equals equation, okay? So let's discuss that real quick. Remember, when you're taking a test, you can put in answer choices to see what makes sense. Let me just pretend I couldn't remember if that would be x equals -3 or y equals -3. So I go to my calculator and I type in y equals -3. That line does not look at all like the line that would go straight down through that parabola. Now I can type in x equals -3. There is a way. You delete the equal sign, you go to relation, and you type in x equals -3. That looks exactly like the line I need to go through the center of that parabola. So that's a way to remind yourself what an x equals line looks like versus a y equals line. Okay, number 9. Which statement is not supported by the graph shown? Okay, let's take a look. We have the line of symmetry is at x equals -1. Well, here's x equals -1. That does go through the vertex. That is the line of symmetry. So that one's right. But we want the one that's not right. The roots of the quadratic function are -4 and 2. So here's -4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That checks out. Here's 2, 1, 2. That checks out. So this one is okay. We don't want to circle it. The coefficient of x squared in the equation of this quadratic function is negative. How can we figure that out? We're not sure. Maybe let's skip that, right? D, the quadratic function graph has 2 solutions. Well, there they are. Solutions are the x-intercepts. There's 2 of them. So you could go ahead and go with C knowing, now this one checks out. But let's say, because I had a student that came to me with this question today, and he didn't know. What I wished he had done, and maybe he did, actually, no, this is the only one he got wrong. And this is how he could have figured it out just on his own. Type in x squared. That's a positive. That's going the same direction as the one I'm looking at. So that's the one that does it. So the positive one, this is a positive x squared, not a negative. If I type in a negative x squared, it goes the other direction. So this is not a negative x squared, so C is the one you want to circle. Try to check stuff in the calculator as much as you can. Okay, number 10, the graph below shows the height of a rocket in meters. You know what, guys? I'm going to do this on the next video because I'm running close to my video limit. So on the next video, I will start with number 10.